Friday. It is amazing to be back. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. Welcome. It is Friday, the 16th of July. I have to start off by saying I apologize for not being on the last two Fridays. So much stuff has been going on with all kinds of stuff, and the weekends have been kind of tasked with doing all the other things for the other business, and all this kind of stuff. So but I am thrilled to be back today and to be talking to you about the importance of your pricing and the conversion rates on Fiverr. And does it matter for you? How can it help you grow your business, get in front of more people, and all that jazz? So we are going to dive into that today, and I hope that this episode is super, super helpful. Conversion rates even matter, okay? Because we know that on Fiverr, the most important thing for you to do after you get all your stuff up right is to be seen. Because if you show up and you can be seen in the rankings, you're going to have a really great opportunity to get work, because Fiverr is driving so much traffic and people are not going to be searching and searching and searching. So they're going to usually pick from the first few people they see. So being up in the rankings when someone goes on Fiverr and searches for a voiceover is extremely important. Because of that, we always need to pay attention to what is driving that ranking, okay? That determines what, where we sit. So one of those is conversion rates. And when we talk about conversion rates on Fiverr, what we're talking about is we're talking about the amount of times that you show up, impressions, okay, to the amount of clicks you get based off those impressions, and then to the amount of orders you get, okay? So that's the conversion rate, all right? Now, from the conversion rate, if you notice in the title, we're talking about conversion rates, but I also mentioned prices. And prices play a vital role in this, in the average selling price. And raising or lowering your price for your voiceovers, okay, how does that affect your conversion rate? And this has always been a question that a lot of people ask, because basically the idea is that Fiverr takes your average selling price, your conversion rates, right? And they mix all this together in their algorithm, and that determines where you fit in the rankings. Well, if you have a certain average selling price, Fiverr will up your, this is the idea, Fiverr will, because remember, Fiverr's trying to make more money. So Fiverr wants to put you higher in the rankings, okay? If you're making more money. And if you are getting higher in the rankings, your conversion rate will be better, because that means you will get more jobs per the amount of impressions that you are getting. But this is where it gets difficult, because yes, this is true. It is true that you will have a higher conversion rate if you have a higher average selling rate, okay? That is true. However, it is also true that Fiverr has a level system, right? We know that Fiverr has a level 0 when you're just starting out, a level 1, a level 2, and then a top-rated seller. And in my humble opinion, this is where I think people get really confused, okay? Because not all of Fiverr, to me, is a living, breathing thing, meaning that, as you build your business on Fiverr, you grow, your prices grow, right? As the demand for your services, your business's services grow, right, then the prices grow. But I often find that when people are just starting out, they struggle with the idea that they need to up their average selling price to affect their conversion rate. Okay, meaning like I need to charge more. I heard so-and-so said that their average selling price is at, this high, and if it's lower, and if I'm charging only this amount, it's going to cost me not to get work. And, that is true. But where I'm getting with this is that when you are first starting out on Fiverr, when you're level 0, okay, you don't have any repeat business. You don't have really any reviews. You don't have a basis yet for your business. So you have to start somewhere. So conversion rates, average selling prices, all of these things you're hearing, they really don't mean that much. And I'm saying that honestly to you because it's either A, you get a job or you don't get a job, and then you don't have a lot of stats to go from because you're just starting. That's a challenge. So, listening to people say, hey, this is, you got to change your conversion rate. You got to change your average selling price. You're charging too low. You're charging too high, all these different things. The reality is price is also a marketing tool. And why Fiverr is also challenging, because if all Fiverr relied upon was the search results for one specific criteria, and that is who had the highest average selling price or the highest conversion rate, then that would be, end of discussion. This is how it has to be. But Fiverr doesn't do that like most other platforms, meaning that Fiverr, you can search for different delivery times. You can search for different price ranges. You can search for different sexes. You can search for different delivery styles. You can search for specific types of there's so much search criteria that it becomes, I think it becomes a moot point trying to figure out what exactly is the ideal situation or the ideal average selling price or the ideal conversion rate. Now, one cool thing that Fiverr has done recently, and this is only if you are a top-rated seller or I guess a high-level 2 seller, is they introduced the Seller Plus program that's not available to everybody. But in the Seller Plus program, they've included more stats. Some of those stats do take your conversion rate, but most of them, and they show you like your conversion rate, the top keywords that you're being found under, which is really cool. But more importantly, they show you the ranking that you are compared to everyone else in that genre or in that specific search term, if you will. And that's been very interesting to me, right? Because then I can see the percentages and what that means. So as I've always said, I always like to do the conversion rates between 4 to 8%, like click to impression ratio and sale to click ratio. Meaning like for every 100 clicks that you get, I want to try to get between 4 to 8 jobs. All right. And for every 1,000 impressions I get, you know what I mean? I want to see, 40 to 80 clicks. Does that make sense? So, that 4 to 8%. And as I've gotten these extra numbers on the back end from Fiverr, that's really shown to be true. Okay. Is those conversion rates and those stats. So why that's effective for you or why that's good for you is because you can look at your stuff and you can be like, okay, this is what's happening. I am getting that or I'm not getting that. And if you're not getting that like high of a conversion rate or, seeing those numbers, then that tells you a couple of things. Like, for example, impressions by themselves. Okay. Again, the impressions by themselves, it does matter your conversion rate. It matters your average selling price, as we were just talking about. Okay. But at the same time, when you're just starting out or you're trying to get ramped up and you don't have a lot of repeat business and you don't have years and years and years of being paid, $5,000 to $10,000 a month on Fiverr, you don't have a lot to go off of. So the impressions themselves, the only way that you really can get more impressions, right, is by driving traffic yourself to the gigs, finding places, right, that you can, actually get in the cracks, if you will. Like, I'm seeing this is trending right now. This is trending. I'm going to put up a gig. I'm going to try this. I'm seeing people on the buyer request doing that. By the way, on a side note, because I just see it, there's this thing called Super Chat. If you would like to donate to a VO's journey in the channel, there's a little button on YouTube right below. I think it's like a money symbol. Please feel free to donate. Helps me keep these videos going. And I need to keep Fiverr Friday going because I love it. And I love being, here to share this information with you guys. So if you're so inclined, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so going back to what I was talking about. So the point of all of that is that the impressions you need to, work on getting your title, the tags, all that other jazz that we're going through, that's important if you're having impression issues. If you're having click issues, if you're having order issues, then that goes into right? Because if it's the impressions, we need to continuously figure out your title. We need to continuously look at your tags. We need to continuously look at your stuff. Zach, my man, you are incredible. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And by the way, I'm so excited that you're $400 away from top-rated seller. That is so awesome, man. You deserve it, dude. I can't wait till you're a top-rated seller. Thank you again, Zach. So if that's how you move forward with the impressions. But if it's clicks, right, then what does that tell you? Well, that tells you that there's something going on with your actual headshot, with your thumbnail. Someone is not, they're not taking time to stop and actually click on your stuff. That's vital for you to actually, get work, right? And that's why I always say you've got to push the limit on your thumbnails, okay? Then if you're getting clicks but you're not getting jobs, okay, by the way, under the clicks too, that does have something to do with your pricing, right? Pricing play, and this is why the conversion rate and the average selling price, I kind of take a step back a little bit, and I'm like, whoa, when people really get hardcore about you've got to do this, it's got to be this, and it's got to be that, because honestly speaking, a great marketing tool is your prices, correct? Do you know what I mean? So that's a massive marketing tool. So, there's the pie in the sky idea, and then there's the reality. Can I actually get work? Is someone going to hire me? Or is this just like, oh, this is a great, it would be perfect if. Do you know what I mean? So that's something that really is crazy. Great. Thank you so much, my friend. $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You got a question for me? All right, I'll answer your question, sir. What if your impressions, click-through ratio, and conversion rates are good, but prices are stuck low? I find when I increase rates, impressions fall through the floor. Okay, good question. So getting to, first and foremost, whenever we want to raise prices. So let's say, and Gray, we'll continue the conversation real quick. So we were talking about your thumbnail pricing, and then if you're getting clicks and you're not getting work, then that has something to do with your demo. All right, something possibly to do with the copy. Something is causing the people to, after they go through all that vetting process, not to want to move forward. Okay, so that's important for you to take a look at those other options. But what Gray's asking is, if all those things look good and they're all in those numbers, but they're having, he wants to raise prices, or they want to raise prices, right? But when they do, they struggle, things change. Well, here's what happens. So first and foremost, whenever you feel like you're ready to raise prices, and this is what my opinion of raising prices is, you raise prices when you are so busy that you have nowhere else but to raise prices, okay? Because you have no more time. Supply and demand. Some people have other opinions, and they're fine. Different things work for different people, but for me personally, it's always been I raise prices when I'm so busy that I have no choice but to raise the prices. That way, I always feel like if I lose some customers because I raise the prices, then that I'll be okay. Okay, but in this particular case, first and foremost, only ever raise it by $5. I'm not exactly sure with how fast or how high you're raising your prices. I would only ever raise them by $5. Okay. And also you can always try word counts as well. It doesn't always have to be the price tag itself, remember, because it's by words. So like if you're charging, $5 for 150 words, well, you could try to charge $5 for 100 words. All right. Or $5 for 300 words. You could try to do 500 or $5 for 250, right? Like you could change the prices or the back end prices. Now I will mention, because I don't know exactly what you're charging, Gray, I will mention that up front, when you're charging low, and I would say under $20, if you're charging under $20, under $15 for your first set of words, it's a lot more difficult to get people to buy commercial and broadcast rights. So you have to think, for people who have higher average selling prices, a lot of times it also has to do with the amount of money that you're getting on the back end for commercial and broadcast rights. But there is always a exception to the rule. And I always like to think of Red Horrocks or a lot of these other people who are doing 600-700 orders a month, and they're charging less $10, $5 or $10 for 100 words, and then they're charging $5 for commercial rights and $10 for broadcast rights, and they're still, so they don't have high average selling prices, yet they're doing more orders than anybody, and they're making 30, 40 grand a month. So you start to think, okay, well, what is what, and what, is this conversion rate thing really important? And is the average selling price really important? And if I raise my prices, why do they go down? The reality is that you can rack your brain upside down and every sideways about this stuff. But in the end, all right, are you actually getting the sale? Okay, and are you actually getting work? Is work going through your account? That is the number one thing you must do. So, Gray, if you raise your prices and all your impressions are going down, okay, then that tells me that, one, it could be that you're not, and I don't know how much you're raising your prices, but I would take 1 gig and raise it $5 and give it a couple of weeks. I don't know how long you're waiting or whatever, but it's when you change something like that, it's bound to go up and down and fluctuate. Okay, but you got to give it some time, see, and if you're only doing it by $5, okay, and you feel like the time is ready, then you should stick with it. I will say this though. Oh wait, you're kind of giving me more information. You said I'm $5 for 250 words. 3/4 of the way to top-rated seller, working myself into an early grade. Yeah, I hear you. Remember, I did $5 for that price. I did $5 too for years until I got into the Seller Plus program. And remember, the Seller Plus program's changed. Back then, you had to be you still have to be accepted, but now you pay and to join and stuff once you're in the program. But back then, you had to be, they vetted people, and they contacted you. There was no, it wasn't as like right now it's a program in Fiverr and everybody knows about it. Back then you didn't even know about it. It was set up originally for pro sellers, and then they were accepting people. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that, you can, you have to look at the fact that if you are swamped, Gray, and it's time to raise your prices a little bit, raise them, but $5 increments. And remember, too, that you might have customers that don't want to pay that price, in which case you're going to either argue with them or you guys have to go your separate ways. That happened to me. When I started raising my prices slowly, I lost business from some people because they did not want to pay the amount of money that I was asking, and that's okay. That's what happens when you raise your prices. You're going to, lose some customers, but, it might be, if that's what the direction you want to go, it might be beneficial for you. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is definitely a long-term game. All right. So with all that being said, thank you both, by the way, again, for your super chats. I really appreciate that. It really helps a lot. In the end, okay, when you get to level 2 and you are over the $20,000 mark, it is important. By the way, I have a really cool stat for you that'll blow your mind. But once you get to that $20,000 mark and you're over, then becoming a top-rated seller, it does matter, okay, where you are showing up in the rankings and all of that jazz in order to become a top-rated seller. And if you are not, like if you're not making 30 grand a month, which most of us are not on, right, then you have to raise that average selling price. Because remember, Fiverr, they're not going to change their name, at least not right now. Okay, so they have done everything they can to elevate themselves out of this idea that it's just $5, okay, for a service, because they can't, they've got to know they got to be able to charge more in order to be more and more profitable. And Fiverr is extremely profitable, right? So with that being said, they want to promote people who are having higher sales prices, but what I'm getting at though is you only should be looking at this if you are at that place where you're either trying to get to top-rated seller or you're a top-rated seller. If you're just starting out and you put up this massive price, that is okay. It's your prerogative. You put whatever price you want. Just know that a lot of people judge on Fiverr not just your demo, but they judge your reviews. They judge your portfolio. And if you have no reviews, no portfolio, or very little, you know what I mean? They're going to want, a lot of people who are going to pay more are going to want to go with people who have more reviews, more credibility, more portfolio. So you've got to do something to get your business started. Okay, it's a marketplace, and that's why I think the prices do help in some ways. It helps newer people get business because there are people who are searching for cheaper work. But that's a part of starting. I started there. I don't charge that now. So the point I'm trying to make about that is your business will charge more. Like if you're starting at $5, that's not the end goal. You're not always going to charge the $5 for X amount of words, but you're starting that in order to build up the credibility in order to charge more. You're building your reputation. You're building your portfolio. Right? So that's just my theory. And when it comes to, again, the conversion rates and the average selling prices, you shouldn't really even be thinking about it until you are after that $20,000 mark on Fiverr as a level 2 trying to get to top rated seller. Okay? Listen, I hope this little rant has helped you think about some stuff and clear up some things. And again, this is a hot topic because there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions, of course, and mine is just my opinion. But I will say this. I will say, too, that when you listen to someone like myself, right? I'm a top-rated seller. So I'm telling you from a top-rated seller, but I always try to go back and recall what I did when I first started. Because if someone's telling you what to do now from their point of view about where they are now, and you are over here, well, that doesn't help you much if what they're telling you to do now is somebody who's over here, right? And you're over here. So I'm always trying to make sure I'm telling you how I did it, because in order for me to get to here, I had to do a bunch of crap to get to here. It didn't just poof, I'm here, right? And I think that's where a lot of people in our industry and probably business in general who are coaching, they forget that, right? We have to all start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead. Now what we do is if you have a question, if you have a comment, go ahead, post it in the chat. I'll do my best to answer it. And again, as a quick reminder, if you're interested in my Fiverr course below, how to make $20,000 on Fiverr, it's right below is the link. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in here. We got Sean. What's up, Sean? Welcome. You said I tore up my knee just so I could stay home and catch one live. Awesome. Wow, sorry about your knee, but it's great to have you. Fly here. Eric, what's up? It's Friday. Hello, my friend and all. It's good to be back. Good to have you, Eric. Bill, what's up, my man? Hello, Anthony and everybody. Good to have you. Thank God it's Fiverr Friday. Let's see. My breast cancer story. Queen Bee. Hello. Welcome. Happy Friday to you too. Let's see. Scott. What's up, Scott? Good day, sir. Let's see. We got some people saying hello. Voiceover Angela. Hello, Angela. I'm so excited that you're coming to the One Voice conference. By the way, the One Voice, there's a link below. If you'd like to come see me speak at the One Voice conference, I'm super excited. They're bringing me out there to Dallas, Texas at the end of August to speak at One Voice conference. And of course, they're going to have me speaking about Fiverr. And that really is going to be exciting, I think, because there's going to be a lot of people from the voiceover industry. And I'm thrilled to meet a bunch of you as well. And hopefully we can go out to dinner and hang out. It'll be really cool because I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm super excited to be down in Dallas, Texas, August 26th through the 29th. There's a link below if you'd like to sign up to go to that conference. Super excited. But anyways, and I'm excited. I know Angela, it was cool that I know you're going, so I'm super excited to see you as well. Let's see. Happy Fiverr Friday. Great Scott. Hi, Anthony. You the man. Scott. You the man. Zach as well. Thank you again, Zach. I know I'm so excited for you, my friend. Let's see. Abdallah, Anthony in the building. How's it going, my friend? Good. It's going well. You too, buddy. Thank you. The Yuri. Let's see. I hope I said that right. Hi, sir. Holland here. Welcome from Holland. That is awesome. How do I deal with customers who ask for more and more after a delivery? I'm afraid that if I don't, they will give me a 1-star thanks. I have to tell you, even to this day, I still have that in the back of my mind as well. And I think that's one thing that is difficult. What I recommend, and I implemented this a long time ago and it's helped a lot, is the more upfront you can be about your expectations, do you know what I mean? And the wording you use when you speak to or when you type to customers is vital. Okay. And what I mean by expectations up front is I do my very best, especially with revisions. Okay. To make sure that I post in the description, I post in my FAQs, I post in the requirements. I actually make people click yes or no in the requirement page. They cannot move forward unless they acknowledge certain things about what's going to happen. All right. Then I do my work. Now, do people still slip through the cracks and still complain about not having a free revision? Yes. So what I usually do is if someone... Now, it depends on what you're doing. If I don't offer any free revisions, okay, I don't offer free revisions. I offer a certain amount of words. Now, if I mess up, of course, if we all mess up, we'll fix it. But I don't offer any revisions based on changes they make. Okay, free. Okay, it's paid. And I do that for a reason so that there's never any confusion about what my revision policy is. All right. Now, I don't charge much. It's like I charge $10 for 50 words. So it's actually less than what I charge for, the original job. Okay. Because I charge $40 per 100 words. So I charge $10 per 50 words for revision. But I'm very upfront about my expectations. And if they come back and they complain and they want, they're like, well, I should get a revision. This is not what I asked for, right? Because this is subjective. Okay, it's different if we mess up the spelling of a word, but if they're like, I wanted this delivery and you gave me this type of tone and that's not what I wanted. You did it wrong, so you should fix it, right? Well, that's subjective. And, that's where we run into challenges. So what I always do is if I have a unruly customer that's giving me a challenge, you know what I mean? I try to meet them halfway. I try to say something like, hey, listen, I'll go ahead and do this one revision for you for free. All right. So that we can be on the same page. But please note that all revisions after this, because my revision policy is clear, you can check it out here, here, and here. All right. That all revisions, even if they're different, directing on your part, are $10 per 50 words. And usually the people are very accepting of that. Okay, but you have to be upfront with them everywhere about your expectations and about what's going to happen. And then you've got to be kind enough to them. Now, in the end, if you come across somebody who doesn't want to play by your rules, okay, well, then it's decision time. You can either A, try to do the best you can, or B, cancel the order, which we know canceling hurts us. I'm just going to tell you, I've had quite a few customers, quite a few is the wrong word. I've had a small amount. All right. They stick out in our minds because they're very, hard to deal with customers. But I've had a small amount of customers who, unfortunately, no matter what I did, I just never pleased them. And usually, actually, I think 99.99% of the time, it's always customers who want to pay you less. Most customers who want to, and I'll say most, not all, but most customers who want to give them more for less, They're never going to be happy. Okay, so at least go into that situation knowing that. But in the end, the expectations will help you a lot. But just know you're going to come across some people who suck. And I will tell you, they just do. And I will tell you that as you grow out and you charge more, that happens less and less. It still happens, but it happens a lot less than when you're charging, you're still beginning. Because, it's kind of like the rite of passage. But hopefully that helps you, my friend. Stay strong. All right. Zach says, thanks, Scott and Anthony. Yeah, ma'am. Great. Thank you again. Sorry if it's slightly off topic. Not at all. Let's see. Bonify. Hey, what's up? From Toronto. It's good to see you. Thank you. Let's see. Gray, I agree. That's been my MO as well. Lofty, what's up? On Fiverr, my response percentage well below 90%. Not sure why. Can it go back up again? Yes, it is a moving average. So it's usually between 30 to 60 days and it will change. So yes, it can go back up. But one thing is that even one response under an hour will affect it drastically. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, it can go back up. It will go back up. Keep fighting the good fight. It's hard, especially at night, and especially if you get contacted by a lot of people while you're sleeping. There's nothing that you can do about it. It's not your fault. I find that if you do have, I don't know if you have the app on your phone, but that really helps me a lot because it gives me notifications. And even now, I always do whatever I can to even if I'm woken up or I'm doing something and I can't fully respond, I have a lightning response that says, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. Like, it's a response. Like, if I can't say anything else, I always just say that so that I get that response to them. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the life that it's like, that's one of the prices we paid for being on Fiverr. So it will go up. It will go up. I know Gray, we talked about that. Frank, what's up, Frank? Good to have you, my friend. Absolutely, Gray. You are Gray. How less people pay, how more the customers are. It's kind of like what we were just talking about. All right, Sean says, I'm sitting at level 2 and $11,000 overall. Nice. And momentum has died. Is it time for an overhaul? It might be. I can tell you, over my Fiverr life, over the last 4.5 years, I've redone my Fiverr persona, if you will, 3 times. And the first time was literally, me just not knowing what I was doing. I put up some stuff about evil voiceover character. At that time, there wasn't really anyone doing that. So I cleaned up really well, like in Halloween and stuff. Now, everyone does that. But, that was something when I first started, but I didn't have much of anything. Then I'm curious about commercial demo and stuff and things like that. So I created my first commercial demo and things like that. And I put up that demo and I redid all of my stuff. I've got audiobook stuff up, and that took me to the next level. That took me to about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Okay. And then at that point I hit a plateau and I couldn't get anywhere beyond it. And then I had to reinvent myself again. And I learned that the delivery style that I was getting some work, but I needed to change my delivery style. And I changed my delivery style. And then that helped me jump up, triple my income on Fiverr. So that was another reinvention, you know what I mean, of myself. And, I think in my business in general. Right. So like, I think as business owners, we do come to impasses. We come to plateaus, and they're challenges that we have to figure out how to overcome. OK, they are just the next level in which we have to what we need to accomplish in order to grow. So, that might be something to think about. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And also it takes a keen mind to recognize that. Do you know what I mean? And maybe it is time for me to change something in order to grow. Okay, let's see. A couple people talking back and forth. Lofty says, will you get that sweet Fiverr hat when you reach top? No, I got my Texas as my Texas hat, and then I got my my piece of tape. And I wrote Fiverr on it. Fiverr sent me a couple of different, they've sent me some gift packages and stuff, but never a hat. I'm keeping my hat. This hat is like iconic. Okay. You can make your own. Let's see. Grace says, also following the advice of the Seller Plus contact hurt me strangely. Huh. That's interesting. See, okay. So, I know, because I love the guys over there, Chris and all the guys and all the upper management too. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of different people from Fiverr and speaking with them privately. But they really are great people, and they are definitely trying. Remember, we are all us sellers. Either you sell and you get work or you don't. And in the end, no matter what anyone says, you have to make decisions based on what is going to work for you. So, sometimes I go counter to what Fiverr or some of the Seller Plus stuff said, or the people from there do. Not because they're wrong or I'm wrong or they're right, it's just because that's the decision I made as a business owner at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you've got to make the decision that you feel is the right thing based off of all the information that you've gotten from professionals, from me, from other people, and then you make the decision, okay? And then you weigh the results. Was it successful? Was it not successful? You know what I mean? And then and that's what this is like, a game. You know what I mean? You try one thing, didn't work. Okay. Try another thing, didn't work. Okay. Try another thing, didn't work. Okay. Most people, again, I love that little picture of those two guys that are chopping, that are mining away, and they get to the end, right? And one dude stops and he's like an inch away from the gold and turns around and quits, right? Where the other guy just keeps going and he actually reaches it, but he didn't know because they stopped too soon. You got to keep trying. Even when it feels like it's never going to happen, those are the moments you got to push the hardest. So keep pushing yourself and take advice, but in the end, you got to make the decisions that work best for you. All right, Frank, let's see. Hi, Anthony. Happy Friday. What's up, my man? I'm going on vacation for a week. What is your suggestions? Is vacation mode very bad to recover from, or is there a way to extend delivery time for all gigs in the settings? So, I had that story about when I went in 2018 and I left for a couple of weeks. I put my account on vacation mode, and when I came back, right? I was basically an entire month, I had no business. Now, if you think about it though, if you put on vacation mode, it basically pauses your stuff. So depending on how long you're gone, there's a lot happening on Fiverr, right? And it definitely could affect where your rankings are. Fiverr's done a lot since then because I've talked to them about it to make sure that there's no extra penalties or anything for whatever reason for putting your stuff on vacation mode. But just know that the longer you go on vacation mode, right, the more difficult it's going to be to come back and just be right where you were when you left. I recommend, you said a week. I recommend, that's what I do. Just let everybody know. Type on your thing, hey, I'm going to be gone for a week. I'm extending my delivery time for 8 days. You know what I mean? But just so you know, I'll be gone for a week. And keep your account going. Just extend your delivery time. And then people will still order from you, or they might wait, or they might consciously say, hey, cool, let's work together when you get back. Or, you might get somebody who says, hey, can you do it right now? Say, hey, sorry, I'm on vacation. You know what I mean? And that's okay, but you're not pausing your account. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. Other people pause their account and they have nothing wrong with it. That's fine. But I like, if it's under a week, like a week or under, that's fine. If it's over a week, you know what I mean? It depends on how long you're going. You know what I mean? But I will never pause my account again, just from my personal experiences, even though, again, this is another thing where I'm talking exactly like from what Seller Plus or Fiverr says. No, it's okay. It's okay to do that. Do it. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the best decision for my business. Do you know what I'm saying? So I keep mine going. I just type in there, hey, I'm going to be gone for a week or two, and I extended my delivery, so please place an order, but just know that the earliest I can deliver is this time when you get back, right? Okay, let's see. Gray says, Nikki, thank you so much. I just saw your super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You said, hey, Anthony, so excited to hear about your self-building. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of a viewer's journey and for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Bonify says, hi, Anthony. Have you been successful with the promoted gig option? I found this past month super slow despite doing some extra promotion and hitting level 2. Yes, so I find, well, yes, I've been very successful with it, but then I've been not so successful with it. And what I did first and foremost was, as I was toying around with it and when it first came out, the promoted gigs. Again, promoted gigs are not available to everybody. By the way, here's another thing you got to know too, especially if you're just starting out on Fiverr. They didn't used to have all this stuff. They didn't used to have the Seller Plus program available to people like that. They didn't used to have the promoted gigs. They didn't used to have like studios, you know what I mean? And all these different things and all the different stats, extra stuff, right? They've added all of that since then, pretty much like literally in the last 3 or 4 years when I started. Because when I started, they didn't have all this stuff. And now they got all this stuff. So, but anyways, the point is that the promoted gigs, they work great. When I was toying around with it first, I was doing what they were recommending, but then I said, screw it. And I maxed out all of it. So I paid $3. I mean, I've got everything at $3. I max it all out. Now I don't pay $3 per click, but that's what I max it out as, so that there's no question that if something happens, I'm going to bid the highest I can bid for it. Some months I'm like, it's ridiculous the amount of money. I'll spend a couple $100s and make thousands. Other months, I spend a couple $100s and make a couple $100. It varies. So this goes back to the idea too, that no matter how much we want to spin it, Fiverr rotates all of us. Okay, they do. They rotate all of us. That's why you don't see there's top rated sellers and there's certain people you will see in the front often, and that's because they've got tons of repeat business, but they're still rotating all of us, and they're rotating all this stuff too. So you might be, unfortunately, you might be in a rotation that is not, in your favor. All right, but don't give up on it. I mean, I love the promoted gig thing. It's another way to get, they make money, but we make money. So Brad, what's up, Brad? Brad says, how do you get customers to go through your normal buying process? So many want a custom offer for $5 for the job that requires 6 hours of work. I know. That is so true, Brad. Okay, so one thing is identifying how your percentage is for people buying directly from your gig or people buying custom offers. You can find that percentage under your analytics tab. All right, you scroll down about halfway, it'll show you what the percentage is. When I was first starting out, and for a while, it was so skewed to custom offers. It was like 70-80% custom offers to like 20% people buying straight from the gig. But then as time went on, I learned a couple things. Like one, I was asking people in my description, hey, contact me if you have any questions. Send me a message. I'm here to help. I want to answer your questions. Okay. We don't want to say we don't want to answer people's questions, but what I realized is I need to send like a call to action, like buy now. Let's get started. Hit that green button and buy now. Continue and hit that green button, right? Like I would rather them just buy from me. I don't want to have to talk for hours about a $5 job. I was kidding about it the other day. Like the people usually spend, like the less, they want to talk a long time about something that's like $5. I understand, people are trying to get the best they can get. But it's funny to, so my recommendation is first get the expectations up front. Hey, this is how we work together. Buy from them. There's also a really cool thing you could do. Remember, you can create lightning responses. So someone might, send you a custom offer or ask you for something. You could send them a lightning response saying, hey, I'd love to work together. This is actually how you purchase from me. You go here, you click on the continue button, type in the word count, and you go through there. I look forward to working with you. You know what I mean? Like you could even show them a PDF. You can do all kinds of different things, right? That shows them how to go through the process other than them just always offering a custom offer. All right. Or train them, teach them how to do it, especially if you've got repeat customers. Because you got to remember too, some people honestly don't know. Fiverr gets a lot of new people. Some people might not actually know. Okay. And that's a part of it. So to them, doing it this way is helpful because it just helps them know what to do. Okay. A lot of times, though, at the lower end, they do it because they don't want to pay the actual price. So that is true. So there is a balance there. And again, you have to there's what's real and what would be pie in the sky perfect. So do the best you can to slowly move over your expectations. But for better or for worse, at least add on the bottom of your description, buy now. Don't add contact me now, because there's a contact button literally right under it, right next to your profile picture and then your overall profile, right? Because it goes your description, it goes your video, your description, then it goes like your mail stuff underneath, you know, your tones and stuff, your gender. Then underneath that, right, it goes to your profile picture again, your overall main profile description, and a contact me button. But over on the right side, if you're looking at the screen, if you're looking at the right side, that's the, I know the darn thing by memory, right? Because I've done it so much. There's the continue tab underneath the stats about the order or what they could place, right? So you've got to, like, when people read down there, there's a contact button and a continue tab. You got to tell them where to go. If you tell them contact me, they're going to look down and hit that tab. If you tell them buy now, they're going to look over and hit the continue button. You got to tell them what to do. That'll help, at least to start. Okay. All right, cool. Let's see. Voiceover Angela, what's up? Says, so excited to see you. You owe me a steak. Yes. Wait. You owe me a steak. Do I owe you a steak? I don't care. We'll get steak. Either way. Okay. Nikki, again, thank you so much. Let's see. Finally back in the game after 50 days in the hospital with my son. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. I hope you or your son, you guys are okay. Fiverr were amazing in helping me improve my completion stats back to what they were. That's awesome. I'm glad they did. It's good to have you back. Let's see. Gray was talking. Aubrey says, can't wait to see all of my idols from the Facebook group at One Voice. I'm so excited to meet you guys. You know what I mean? I'm so excited to meet you guys. I can't wait. Brad says, Graybeard Gaming, thank you for that. Graybeard, yes, okay. Doug says, hi, finally here, better late than never. Absolutely. Monique says, hi, Monique, says, what do you mean by delivery style? So basically, when you do a voiceover, right, there are different types of delivery tones. Like, for example, I could be authoritative. I'm very certain about this delivery, and I want you to know this is how it's done. Okay, I can be very authoritative. I can be more of, like an older wisdom kind of, I don't know. I've got this kind of this thoughtful voice. This is where I want you to go. I want you to look at this home, enjoy it, right? I can give you a more of a conversational, relatable, older man wisdom type of voice. All right. I can do delivery style, buy a car now, right? Some crazy. I got this dude I was always on the radio wherever I go. He's like, you can get a car today. That's exactly how he sounds. I'm not kidding you. It drives me insane. But you've got, then you've got the serious delivery. It could be like this. This is the product. This is how you're going to do it. Like, there's all sorts of different styles of your delivery, right? There's happy, upbeat. So when I talk about delivery style, I mean, someone might say, hey, we want an upbeat tone, and you give it to them what you think is upbeat. And they're like, no, we don't like that. That's too happy. You sound too happy, less excited. You're like, okay, well, you said that. But see, to them, they might be like, but you didn't do it. We told you to do, right? In their opinion, in your opinion, you did. So that's what I mean about delivery style. Does that make sense? Good question. Sean, can you insert a gig link and lightning responses? Can you insert a gig link and lightning responses? I believe you can. Yeah, I'm sure you could. Absolutely. I don't know if it'll show up as a link. You like to click on the link, but you definitely can. Let's see. Brad says, thank you, Anthony. Great stuff. Thank you, Brad. Voiceover Angela. Well, we'll both eat a steak. Absolutely. Nate says conversational. Yep. That's one of the ones we hear the most, right? Conversational. But conversational, I've talked a lot about this, right? It's taken on new personas and everything. Monique, thank you. That makes sense. Awesome. David, what's up, David? Says, so exciting. I finally catch a live Fiverr Friday. I'm always having to watch video replays. Hope the move is going well. Thank you, David. Yeah, so on that note, the move, so what we've done is decided to stay in the house until the other home is ready, so that not, gonna get it, just because it's just so much easier to stay here, run the business here, and then only move once instead of moving 3 times. But, so that's what we're doing there. So we're super excited, but I decided to stay in the house until that happens. So anyways, thank you guys so much. It was so awesome to be back with you guys again for another Fiverr Friday. Please, again, if you have a moment, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you all so much, by the way, who also gave a super chat. Really means the world to me and my family. Thank you. And also, if you get a chance and you're looking to get your business kicked off and running on Fiverr, check out the course below, how to make $20,000 on Fiverr for voiceover. It will change your life. All right, you guys, thank you so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.